Good morning, eh, good afternoon, and good evening, and wishes for the entire day. Welcome for this particular presentation. The topic of this presentation is the missing piece, the Zen PM. My name is Dhananjay Gokhale, and you can address me as DG. It's simple way to address me. You can see this in the logo as well. Before moving ahead, I have two curious questions. The first question is, how many of you are human beings? And the second question is, how many of you are project managers? So let's confirm on these two that we are human beings and we are project managers. So, with this confirmation, I have a quiz. There are two questions in this quiz. Simple quiz. There will be four options, and one option will be most correct or the most closest option. Now, the quiz goes like this. Quiz one, question one of two. Now that we have said that we are all project managers, let me ask this question. I, as a project manager, should ensure that the decisions on the project should be taken in the context of Alpha, the project client, Beta, the project sponsor, Charlie, the project, and Delta, the project manager. Let's go to question two and the last question in the quiz one. Now that we have said that yes, we are a project managers, so in that context, I, as a project manager, should be honest with Alpha, the project sponsor, Beta, the project, Charlie, the project client, and Delta, the project financial officer. Okay, so let's quickly revise what we have done for last 2 3 minutes. We said that we are all human beings. We said that we are all project managers. On this context, we went through the two quizzes, and now let's hear a story. Once upon a time, there lived, oh no, 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 no. There is a project manager whose name is Sam. And yesterday, he got a phone call from the CEO of an organization. The CEO came in. Obviously, there was a pressure in the organization. One of the project is not going really well. The CEO expressed her concern. The name of the CEO is Miss Indira, and the project manager's name, as I said, Sam. After having initial discussions, Miss Indira said, "Hey Sam, I heard that the project Phoenix 6 not doing well. It is facing some problems, and there are many people who are jumping on me. The client is not listening to me. There are other stakeholders who are not really happy. Can we speed the things up and complete this project 4 weeks ahead? Because that's the only thing probably I feel will settle these people." Miss Indira is human being and she is also CEO. So when I witnessed this particular incident, I could see both the emotions. Miss Indira expressed the hope as a human being and also demanded few things as a CEO. I think this story is not alien for us. Each one of us must have experienced it, must have seen it, must be seeing it, must be going through this. And I must tell you, Sam is a wonderful project manager, but the project he's doing it's really in the complex state. He had demanded 20 resources, but he got only 10. He has demanded one typical technological tool, and due to the budget constraint, he didn't get it. And now he's working on the shared resource. Indira, my project is already in deep soup. People are less, infrastructure is not okay. And in this case, you ask me to do this project 4 weeks ahead of schedule. It's impossible. And I'm sure that you know that. Even then, you are asking me, it is impossible. Do you have any idea as to how complex this project has become? In fact, it is complex ever since beginning. Sam was totally under pressure. He reacted defensively. He is frustrated. And because of this expression, both Sam and Indira both got into the serious tone and both of them left frustrated. Now, if you really see this particular response, I call this response as non Zen response. Now, let's understand what happens or why this kind of response come into picture. The foundational emotion for these kind of situations is frustration. Am I right? Now let's inquire. I'm inquiring myself and you as well. Why a project manager gets frustrated? One basic answer that pops up immediately that it is because of stakeholders. Sometimes I have heard definitions of a stakeholders is that the people who are trained to frustrate project managers. Absolutely fine. So stakeholders demands are contradictory. They come all the way out. They don't know what's exactly happening, and of course they come up with their emotions and the egos and the burst of the emotions and so on and so forth. That's one of the reasons I'm not saying that it is wrong or right. It is there. Second, probably lack of objectivity. I, as a project manager, sometimes lack this objectivity and I take each and every stakeholder very personally, isn't it? Of course, this lack of objectivity is also there with the stakeholders, but let's see from our side. So, stakeholders' demands are like that, but I also take stakeholders' expressions very personally. On top of it, there are communications issues. Stakeholders are not trained on communications, but sometimes I also add fuel to these communications fire, not translating the expressions of the stakeholders in the project language. Project has its own language. Let's recap quickly. The first we talked about is stakeholders, contracting demand, contradictory demand, lack of objectivity, communication issues, as we said. The fourth is feeling obligated. Now let's look into this. And that's the reason I started in the beginning that all of us are human beings. So frustration is an emotion. We call it as a lower emotion. It is there with everybody. We are all project managers. So there are stakeholders for the project. They lack objectivity. I lack objectivity at times. I have communication issues. And anyway, stakeholders are not trained on the communications. On top of it, I, as a project manager, feel obligated. I create self obligatory pressures. If you really look into the frustrated situations, frustrated moments in your life, most of the moments have a contribution of I feel self obligatory. So that's the fourth aspect that I have seen. All these things are based on my experience for last 25 years. If I go to the root of all these four, I, as a project manager, many times I get it, I get into the trap of emotions. I call it as an emotional trap, confusion of an identity. What do you mean by confusion of an identity? I get mixed up. I start identifying with the project. So I don't remember that I am not the project. And the Zen PM starts with this, or the non Zen response is because of this. This is the root of the frustration that I start identifying myself with the project. Now, let's go back to the first question. How many of you are project managers? Now, when I say project manager, I am a project manager. How many entities do you see? Most of the time, non-Zen project manager sees one entity, that is project manager. But the Zen project manager will see two entities, a project and a manager of a project. So henceforth, whenever you introduce yourself or whenever you feel that you are a project manager, you must see two entities, a project and a manager of the project. Right? Now let's see when I have this awareness that existence of a project manager is totally because of existence of the project, my gratitude to the projects. Now, if I am aware, if Sam becomes aware about it, how would Sam respond? Let's go back to the situation. Indira is there. Indira had just expressed her desire to say or to reduce the project duration by 4 weeks. She knows, Sam knows, resources are less, infrastructure is not available, people are not communicative, and all wrong things are happening on that particular project, say for that matter. How a non Zen PM would respond, we have seen it. Now, how a Zen PM would respond, see this. The response goes like this: Indra, thank you so much. I also wish to complete this project ASAP. Sam looked at the project schedule and he further continued that with some adjustments, we might achieve this. But it will require some trade offs, some compromise. Let us speak with the project and we will find out the possibilities. Now, if you really see, this is the beautiful statement, wonderful statement. This statement would be expressed only by the Zen project managers. Let's speak with the project, right? And this is the response from Zen PM. What do you mean by that? The Zen project managers sees project as a distinct entity and considers worth discussing interacting with it. The response continued. Indira, I spoke with the project. In fact, I would wish every one of us important stakeholders to speak with the project. But when I spoke with the project, here are the possibilities. I am okay with any one of this. If you are okay, then we can sensitize the key people and get them engaged. There is a possibility of getting something done which you wish. Now, be attentive. The Zen PM didn't talk about yes, neither he said no, right? So, now, what is Zen? Let's understand this. And then, based on that, we'll understand what is Zen PM. Now, Zen is a concept. Uh, it is seen in Buddhism. In fact, the Zen concept is there in all religions. Uh, for every human being, it is there. The name Zen comes from Mahayana Buddhism, and it emphasizes on the mindfulness, peace, and the calm mind, awareness, alertness, being aware, right? And the Zen PM would be a PM, would be utterly mindful, and therefore a person has an ability to remain calm. Most importantly, emotionally unattached. Now we go into the details of this. Because of that, clarity is tremendous. And with this clarity, interactions become further beautiful and less frustrating. So this is Zen PM. Now, what happens because of that? So let us see, let us revise. We said we are all project managers. We are human beings. Since we are human beings, we have all emotions. There are higher emotions, lower emotions. We took an example of lower emotion, that is frustration, which is seen in the project manager's expressions because of stakeholders' contradictory interests, their egos and emotions coming into picture. I am getting trapped into these emotions. The language of the project is not used, lots of things, but the key reason that we saw is I get trapped into identifying myself as a project. And we said no, that is where the Zen PM comes into picture. Now if you really see this in the visual mode, on the left hand side, Sam in the initial level, the non Zen, also did the discussion I and you, right? So you see that I is speaking with you and you is speaking with I, Sam and Indira. On the right hand side, you see that Sam is speaking with Indira, no doubt. So I is there, you is there, I and you is interacting. But most importantly, here on the right hand side, we see a third party, which is the project. So this is precisely I'm trying to say the PM and the Zen PM. The Zen PM always brings in project into the picture. And hence, if you really see those who are observant, they can see this that in this particular picture on the left hand side, you see ego speaking with an ego. And obviously, there'll be conflicts. On the right hand side, you can see that ego is on one side, that Indira and Sam, they both are on one side and they are speaking with the project, and the project doesn't have ego. So, an ego speaking with non ego. So, obviously, there will not be conflict. Now, this is the perspective. So, what we saw is the mindset of Zen PM being alert about distinction between project and a project manager. Secondly, we saw the perspective. So, what is the trick? The trick is simple. See this. If you can read it, tell me. Can you read the line that I have written on the Uh, yeah, right. So forget about the line. Can you make out something that there are people on the other side? Now, other side, say, of a glass board, and we are on other side. I am on other side, say. So consider yourself as a project. Now, project is seeing those five people under some discussion. Somebody is leading that discussion, and something is written there. I, as a project, is on the other side, and I'm seeing this, and I'm asking that, can you see this? So, for simplicity, I'll tell you what is written on the other side. It is the art of seeing or art of showing. Now, this is the Zen PM trick, ability to see and ability to show. Now, see that. What did Sam talked about? Sam never spoke, yes, it is possible, no, it is not possible. I'm saying Zen PM Sam. He showed the pictures to Indira. He saw because he interacted with the project. Now, what is the trick? The trick is to see and to show, and therefore always say that let's see it together, and therefore never say no and never say yes. Never. You should say that let us see it together. A simple example for this is that I have a friend with me, and you are asking about whether my friend like to have a food. Let's say you cannot speak with the in the language with which I mean in which this my friend speaks, right? And you are asking this: does your friend need food? Is he hungry? Something like that. What will you do? Will you answer on your behalf? No, no, no. I don't think he's hungry. Or you will say that let's speak with him, or let me speak with him. Hey, are you hungry? Because she's asking whether you need some food. That precisely the ZP, right? Now let's go forward quickly. Now that I have told you the trick is simple as I said, art of seeing, art of showing. Now, for that, I need to see, that means I need to visualize. Project language is a visual language, and many times you forget. We end up using verbal language, we end up using written. We must draw, we must see the visuals, right? And now, if you see on the right hand side, it is so simple. The people are looking at one thing. Now, the other side is the project, and this side, all the stakeholders. The lady standing near to the board, we can say it's a project manager probably. Now, this is the advantage. So we once we have the mentality of the Zen PM, ability to distinguish between the project and the project manager, and therefore we will never say it is possible, not possible. We will say let's see the possibilities, and I'll involve stakeholders to see that. I'll show them, and then I'll end up using visuals which will bring in collaboration. It will increase understanding, it will be shared, it will make stakeholders feel empowered because you are engaging in the discussion. You're not telling them or you're not listening to them. Both the stakeholders and the project managers all are communicating with the projects, and therefore the conflict will be reduced and there will be improved decision making. Now, this is the fun. Now, we have seen the mindset, we have seen the trick, we have seen the language of the project, that is in the visual side. Now, let's pay attention to the tips. Once again, we are all human beings, we are all project managers. We are all good project managers. We want to become Zen project manager. The Zen means mindfulness. And that mindfulness is all about being aware that I am not the project. I am the manager of this project. So there is this project and there is this human being. This is how the Zen PM works. Now, what are the ways? What are the tricks we saw? One trick: never say yes, never say no. See and show. Okay, then how it will happen? Simple tips. The first tip is always respect the individuality of the project. So, henceforth, please stop saying that I am a project manager. Don't, because that creates a confusion, right? I would not say I am a project manager. I would say I am a manager of this project. Now, it doesn't make any difference. in terms of your grade and designation. It makes you alert within that you and project is different. Say that I am the manager managing this project. Acknowledge the request, because it's like that lady asking you about your friend. Is your friend hungry? So don't immediately respond, don't immediately answer. Acknowledge, yes, I heard your request, and I know that this request is not to me, but this request is to my friend, my friend project. Now, like the lady couldn't speak the language that my friend speaks, I translated. Similarly, I would translate stakeholders' requirements, stakeholder desires, wishes, whatever, into the project's language. So remember, I should not respond. I would say, let's speak with the project, or let me speak with the project. Let me show it to you. Let's see that, isn't it? Now, and involve the stakeholders to generate what ifs. So let's say my friend says that I am not that hungry, I don't wish to have a full meal. Ah, okay, then would you love to have some snacks? Would you love to have some quick bite, some sandwich, or the meat sandwich, the chicken sandwich, or a simple cheese sandwich? These are all what ifs. But let me involve the stakeholders to make these what ifs. Generate and present the what ifs. Never say yes, never say no. These are the fundamental tips for becoming a Zen PM. Now, because of that, once you become the Zen PM, the transformation takes place. The PMs are the process administrators, no doubt. But with this Zen PM in coming into picture, the missing piece that the Zen PM, once it is coming in, the mere administrators becomes entrepreneurs. Now this missing piece is within. I cannot find it outside. I cannot learn outside. I have to teach myself. And most of the time, when I go to the organizations, I make people Zen PMs. You become aware. Here is a project, and here are you. So once these awareness increases, then mere deliveries of the requirements turn out to be business outcomes. Once I become Zen PM, I do manage stakeholders, but management of the stakeholders forge into business partners. Once I become Zen PM, once I find this missing piece, pure managing triple constraints, which I anyway have to manage, but those will be now transformed into business values. I will end up managing uncertainties more effectively. I will not resist the scope changes. Moment I add the Zen PM, I will not be unhappy with the changes. I will bring in the opportunities and mere process orientation, which is necessary. I'm not saying left hand side is not required, but left hand side with the missing piece generates the right hand side. It's an outcome, right? With this, I would like to have quick questions in the form of quizzes. Each question will take 15 seconds to answer, out of which you have already solved four questions. I have two questions. So let's go ahead with question number one. Quiz two. I, as a project manager, should ensure that the decisions on the project should be taken in the context of. You have already solved this. If you have changed the answer now, nothing like it. The project client, the project sponsor, the project, and the project manager. Right. Quiz two, question number two. I, as a project manager, should be honest with a project sponsor, a project, the project client, and the project financial officer. So you choose Alpha, Beta, Charlie, Delta. This question is also solved in the beginning. Now let's go with the third question, a new question, quiz 2, question 3. The participants of the project review meetings. The participants of the project review meetings can be all of the following except the project sponsor, the project manager, the project, and the client. Beta, the client, the legal department, the project, and the project sponsor. Charlie, team members, project manager, project sponsor, vendors. And Delta, technical expert, project vendors, the project the team members, and the project managers. I know, a bit confusing. I will give you 15 seconds more. All of these options look like that they are the participants. Find out that option where the key participant is missing. And therefore, the question is the participants of the project review meetings can be all of the following except Charlie. Because if you see, the project is missing. The team members, project managers, project sponsor, and vendor. Where is the project? Project in the project review meeting is must. The last question. Question 4, quiz 2. Who is missing in this meeting? Who is missing in this meeting? The manager, the sponsor, the project, the client. Lot to learn here. Most of the time, the project review meetings don't remain project review meetings. They become project manager review meeting. Have you seen that? People stop asking questions about the project. They slowly start jumping onto the project managers and they end up saying, we end up hearing, you are not doing this, you should have done that, you and you and you. Hey, we are into project review meetings. But why people shout at you as a project manager? Because you have forgotten. We as project managers have forgotten that project exists and I must bring project in the project review meetings. Otherwise, whom would we review? Right? So I'll conclude my presentations or interactions or thought, whatever you would like to call it as, with the oath. Let's take that oath and conclude. The PM oath, this PM oath was crafted by me in 2007, and this oath has empowered countless project managers with being Zen PM. And this is the world's first oath. Even today, I don't see the PM oath, and it might become global very soon. We are the project managers. You can follow me. We are the project managers. We are proud of it. We shall never get attached to a project. We shall never hate ambiguity and chaos. We shall bring in predictability and visibility. We shall make life more simple, more beautiful, more meaningful. Now, this PMO guides the project manager throughout the career. Uh, you can download it from my site as well. If you wish, I'll send it across to you. You can print it and distribute it in your organization. The first part of this particular project though tells me that it sets the tone that I am a project manager and I'm proud of it. The second portion talks about what should not be done. That's the Zen number 2. I will never get attached to the project. The third portion tells me what am I supposed to do. I will bring in visibility and predictability. And the last portion is the final goal, much more noble. The contribution, indirectly or directly, is towards making life more simple, more beautiful, more meaningful. Thank you very much for your contribution. So, we discussed reconfirmation about awareness about the project managers, that we are project managers. We tried listing core reasons of frustration. We saw the one core part of it. We talked about the Zen PM trick, never say yes, never say no. Let's see, seeing and showing. And we derived 5 tips to become Zen PM. We concluded with oath. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your presence, and you can contact me anytime on this number given. My email ID is also available on this particular website. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.